Hello, 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 welcome to people on the Raw Ring on the Pro Wrestling Show. You know, Raw is their thing. Raw again tonight, and as AJ Styles takes on Gunther for the first time. AJ Styles and Gunther for the first time on Raw. You get to the ring for right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dixon. Glad you joined us on the Pro Wrestling Show. Conversation used on hashtag Raw here, connecting with our first time Red Star Champions with the Raw Ring report. Now, that's happening. Right now, let's get started with this here on the Raw Ring report. We kick off with the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. They're right there holding the goal now, the Women's Tag Team division. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley now holding the goal after last week when they wrestled the Kabuki Warriors to win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. What a match that was last week, winning the gold from the Kabuki Warriors and taking the gold away from the Kabuki Warriors right there, as you see right there on your screen. The women's tag team champions now are the hunted. Rhea Ripley and Oscar saying no one is ready for them, which I don't get, but I kind of get it. But we see a lot of women trying to pack up and trying to heat up things in the women's division. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, the Kabuki Wars, the former champions, as well as Bailey and Live Mercury. All these women were jockeying in position, but we kind of know now there will be a triple threat women's tag team match to determine who's next in line for a shot at the women's tag team championship. We'll see that a little bit later on, but then too they'll have challenges waiting for them on SmackDown too on NXT. So there's a lot of challenges awaiting for the new women's tag team champions Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Well, we get to that match right now, the triple threat match between Roxanne, Liv versus Bailey, Lyra versus the Kabuki Warriors. And we found out that the women's tag team championship match will be determined on Saturday Night Main Event, nearly 2 weeks from tonight, 2 weeks from Saturday, as Roxanne and Liv will challenge the new tag team champions. We're going to see that match coming up ahead. Speaking of the Judgment Day, the women in the Judgment Day trying to aim for gold and aim for greatness. We see that Raquel Rodriguez continue her damage on women's champion. Raquel, forgot her name. Stephanie Vacure. Had what happened last week when Stephanie Vacure came out there to tell her that she's not going to vacate her title. But Raquel Rodriguez had different plans, and Raquel Rodriguez decided to attack Stephanie's leg, and she did last week, and she did it again this week, attacking Stephanie's leg by using the belt to hit her with her leg. And I think Stephanie Vacure gonna have to really think about this. Raquel Rodriguez proved to be a massive threat to a championship and see if she's gonna do something really dangerous at the end. But we have to wait and see about that. More news as well as this. We told you last week, Javon Evans signed his deal with Raw. He's now on the main roster at 21 years old, the youngest star to sign with the Raw brand. Um, Javon signing with Raw and Javon getting the upper hand and now being a part of the Raw brand. And Javon now doing a lot of so trying to say that right now about Javon. Javon's doing great on Raw. Javon had his first match on Raw against um, one of the members of the Grand Americano group. Javon won his match, but he almost got dodged, getting away from the Red group. At 21 years old, I can't believe Javon Evans, 21 years old, the youngest main roster person ever. That's quick ascension. Congratulations, Javon. Javon finding new enemies real quick with it. Americanos. It's stuff I can tell you that right now. Well, speaking of that, we told you last week, maybe Jay Uso came in the crowd and gave him the 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 crowd spiel and stuff like that. But we know mainly Jay Uso, along with his brother. I don't know what his brother's got going on, but knows. I think Jimmy might be dealing with helping with Naomi and stuff. Um, Anyway, Jay Uso was asking anybody that wanted to step up for a tag team championship match. Well, he didn't have to look no further as Otis and Akira Tozawa won tag team championship opportunity. And Otis and Akira Tozawa, they want to step up and tell the Usos that, hey, we ain't playing this time. We want some gold. I guess the Usos real locked it in and said, okay, you want, we're going to give it to you. They're going to give it to them and we're going to see how this all is going to play out eventually. We saw how this is going to go, but the Usos um, later probably have future challenges with Takeru Cesaro and Otis. Look forward to seeing that as well. But like we said, we told you earlier about Javon debuting, winning his match. So Javon Evans, stuff like that. Everybody, knows everybody stepping up on Raw and storylines getting progressive a little bit. Well, saying this, we told you that Liv Morgan wanted. You see Liv Morgan right here. She was telling last week she been on live here. But Liv Morgan was asking the same for um, Finn Balor to step up. Finn Balor said he's going to step up. All right. Finn Balor did step up and try to challenge world champion CM Punk coming out the heels of last week. Punk went against Braun Breaker. And what a match that was. Braun Breaker was just step close to winning the world championship, but didn't win the world title. Braun Breaker lost his first opportunity at world champion, but this might not be the last. We might see CM Punk and Braun Breaker coming up forward. So see that Finn Balor saying that he want to step up since Punk mentioned his name. Finn Balor is a former world champion, a former universal champion. Finn Balor wanted to step up, and we see that Finn Balor told CM Punk that, hey man, I want a shot at the world belt too. I don't want to get left out in the shuffle. And yeah, I thought they was gonna settle this for Royal Rumble, but listen, they're not gonna settle for Royal Rumble. They're gonna hit the trick, pull the trigger, and you're gonna see at next week on Raw in Belfast and CM Punk defends the world title against Finn Balor. Finn Balor gets shined the world title next week, and Finn Balor become a two-time world champion like he did when he won the Undisputed Universal Championship nearly a decade ago. But that was unreal to believe. But we'll see it next week. CM Punk set the challenge. CM Punk set to defend the world championship against Finn Balor. Will Finn Balor be able to be ready to bring it on? We'll see. That's going to be the main event for next week. I can tell you that right now. He needs to. So looking forward to seeing that as well. As well as this bold confrontation going on as a frustrated Ron Breaker um, didn't win the world championship, but he took his frustrations out on anybody and anything, even at Adam Pierce, the general manager. Pierce put his hands on Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker tried to almost take him alive, tried to choke him out. Pierce realizing that Braun Breaker wasn't nothing to play with him. And you can tell right here, Braun Breaker and Baron Pierce having to stare down at each other. Like Braun Breaker wanted Baron Pierce to come out of retirement and stuff. Pierce said, no, he ain't gonna do that. But Paul Heyman made mention that like Pierce was the one that provoked him, and Pierce touched him first and led Pierce to kind of ponder and wonder. But can we see Adam Pierce come back in the ring? Adam Pierce, a former world NWA champion. Can we see that being the case? We have to wait and see how this all gonna play out. Becky Lynch made a vignette talking about her match next week. Becky Lynch winning the Women's Intercontinental Championship from back from Maxine Dupree by doing what she had to do by cheating as she did right here to defeat Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree a little bit Patura upset and bothered, but she wants a shot and wants to break Becky Lynch's ankle. She'll do so next week when there'll be a rematch for the Women's Intercontinental title. And can Becky Lynch do it without cheating? That's the question that everybody wants to know. So we'll see that's going to play out eventually between these women next week. Well, we get to the main event. The main event of the night was none other than AJ Styles versus Gunther. Remember, this call started last week. AJ Styles versus Gunther. And AJ Styles um, tried to, Gunther tried to disrespect AJ Styles, John Cena, and John Gunther continue his performance. AJ defending John Cena's honor, which Cena what he had went through last week, and John Cena was able to defend himself. And AJ Styles wanted a reason, and Gunther went to lobby for Adam Pearce to make the match. AJ Styles was standing there and got his opportunity. And the match we have right here happened tonight between Styles and Gunther, first time ever. Many people thought it was going to happen at WrestleMania or something, but we don't know what AJ Styles plans. They're going to look at Rich plans as they go, but we saw tonight AJ Styles wasn't kidding. He wants to get his hands on Gunther one way or another. But Gunther wore out the surprise by pinning AJ Styles with that devastating powerbomb to get the 1, 2, 3. And Gunther wins. Gunther didn't retire AJ Styles. We just don't know if AJ Styles gonna have a retirement match, but we'll have to wait and see how that's gonna play out eventually between stuff. So that this round was kind of okay. We saw that the confrontations and the issues where we saw the general manager Adam Pearce and Braun Breaker about to escalate as well. So we saw that as well as preview AJ Finn Balor and CM Punk for the world title next week, as well as the women's intercontinental title. Becky Lynch defends against Maxine Dupree next week. And give us another preview of a upcoming tag team title match between the Usos versus American Alpha, as well as the Judgment Day's women, Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan taking on Rhea Ripley and Io Sky at Saturday night's main event. So a lot of matches, and then Stephanie McCure again injured again by Roxanne Perez. And we saw the debut of um, Javon Evans tonight. So a lot of moving parts as we move on from Raw, but like I said, Raw was kind of okay, but it just wasn't. But it just gave you a little debuts and stuff. They went overseas tonight. Well, yes, we'll see. But we're gonna end the Raw report. We're gonna move on to wrestling hot topics. As we see right here, Drew McIntyre's new WWE champion. Drew McIntyre on the go back in his homeland. You see Drew champion right here saying no t-shirt need. This is what a real champion looks like. You got a point. You got a point. But like I said, I'm kind of happy Drew is the champion. Drew can they kind of pivot for WWE and gives WWE a new lease on life and kind of see if we'll see something different, something new, something original from WWE rather than being stale and being boring for the Royal Rumble as well. So a lot of moving parts, like we said tonight. But Drew McIntyre will address the WWE Universe this Friday on SmackDown. We'll have a SmackDown report for you, coverage of that coming up on SmackDown this week. Speaking of that, the Pro Wrestling Show will be extended from 4 days to 5, Monday through Friday, as we have the TNA Ring Report. So look forward to seeing that this Thursday as well, the TNA Ring Report, as well as Monday's Raw Ring Report, and tomorrow's NXT Ring Report on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, AEW, SmackDown, Friday. So a lot of stack added new show reports as well. So we're gonna leave here on the Pro Wrestling Show with Gunther defeating AJ Styles with that devastating powerbomb to get the 1, 2, 3. What this means for AJ Styles, who knows? Thank you for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. This is the Raw Ring Report. I've been your host, Andrew Dixon. So long. We'll see you tomorrow for the NXT Report on the fate of the NXT title. See you later.